Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our very first podcast, the Chill Podcast. I am Chinmay, along with Nikhil. We
Hey
are going
guys.
to be reviewing the Big Six of the Premier League this weekend, and we are going to be focusing on the match day four. मैच डे फोर जो हमारा इस बार अब काफी लंबे इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक के बाद शुरू होने वाला है. First match we are going to be reviewing is Tottenham and Crystal Palace. So
Yeah, before that, before
uh,
before moving on to the first match, Chinmay, let's look at the let's look at the uh, current situation of the table. Tottenham leading the table with 3 wins in 3 matches. Okay, and Man United on the third position. We have Chelsea on the fourth position with one draw and two wins. Liverpool with one draw and two wins as well, and Man City at the seventh position. But the worst position is of the the shocking team, that is Arsenal. That is the last position of the
uh,
20th position.
करेक्ट. शॉक तो है, फर्स्ट और लास्ट पोजीशन दोनों में शॉक है, बिकॉज आई डिड नॉट पर्सनली एक्सपेक्ट टॉटनम टू बी एट द टॉप ऑफ द टेबल आफ्टर 3 मैच डेज पर्सनली, बिकॉज जो उनका पूरा ट्रांसफर विंडो में हैरी केन का ट्रांसफर सागा चला था, और
हाँ.
सडन मैनेजरियल चेंज, ऑल द सडन तो नहीं कह सकते, बट आई वाज सर्टेनली नॉट होपिंग नूनो एस्पिरिटो सैंटो. दे वर लिंक्ड विथ एंटोनियो कॉन्टे, फिर उनका जो रोमा का कोच था वो भी था,
Mm-hmm.
and finally they ended up with Nuno Espirito Santo. Although Nuno has done well with Wolves so far, 2 seasons उन्होंने वोल्स के साथ अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, उनको यूरोपा लीग में लेके गए थे, बट मुझे लगा था टॉटनम्स के एम्बिशन ज्यादा होंगे, बट nonetheless all ends all wells that ends well. Nuno has taken them, or in fact put them in a very good position so far. What do you say, Nikhil?
यस, आई एग्री. एंड मुझे एक ऐसा लगता है कि एक कोच जो एक अंडरडॉग काइंड ऑफ टीम के साथ खेल रहा था लास्ट सीजन, एंड देन उन्हें जिताने की कोशिश कर रहा था, एंड काइंड ऑफ कह सकते हैं कि उन्हें रेलीगेशन से बचाने की कोशिश कर रहा था, एंड देन यहाँ पर अब एक ऐसी टीम के साथ में जो एक टाइटल कंटेंडर भी हो सकती है, एंड टॉटनहम इज वन ऑफ दैट टीम. सो एक रोल चेंज कह सकते
ज्यादा
हैं.
लोग एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे ये चीज.
हाँ, वो बात
करेक्ट.
सही है. वो बात सही है. बट एक एक रोल चेंज हो जाता है कि आपको एक रेलीगेशन से बचना है और एक टाइटल जीतना है. बहुत ड्रास्टिक चेंज नहीं हो जाता है क्या?
ठीक है, बट टॉटनहम का, ऑल्दो मैं ये इतना एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहा था ये, हालांकि वुल्स से तो एक बड़ा ही टास्क है, बट मुझे नहीं लगता कि टॉटनहम प्रीमियर लीग कंटेंडरशिप के लिए जा रहा था. टॉप 4 उनके लिए सही टारगेट होगा इस साल. वो लोग यूरोपा यूरोपा कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग में है, सो आई
हम्म.
गेस उनका मेन टारगेट तो इधर गेट इनटू द बिग कॉम्पिटिशंस ऑफ यूरोप, जैसे चैंपियंस लीग ऑफ कोर्स,
चैंपियंस लीग.
एंड उसके बाद यूरोपा लीग. सो आई थिंक वो ज्यादा टारगेट करेंगे, बट नॉनदलेस टॉटनहम के फैंस जरूर चाहेंगे कि लीग अभी खत्म हो जाए और चैंपियनशिप उन्हें ही दे दिया जाए जिस पोजीशन पे
सही बात है. इस बार
है.
तो कोरोना खत्म होने वाला है, अब चालू नहीं है. फैंस आर आल्सो बैक, एंड it's good to see that fans are also back in the stadiums. It's full packed stadiums, and it's really good to see
एब्सोल्युटली.
football that way. So let's move on to our
एंड आई
first
होप अब,
yeah, go ahead, and then we'll move on to our first fixture.
नहीं, मैं लास्ट में सिर्फ हैरी केन को मेंशन कर देना चाहता था. हैरी केन का जो जैसा ट्रांसफर विंडो रहा, ऑल्दो जो उनका पूरा ट्रांसफर सागा था, वो मैन सिटी जा रहे थे, नहीं जा रहे थे, फिर वो कहीं उनका ट्रांसफर का उन्होंने ट्रांसफर रिक्वेस्ट हैंड इन किया था, बट एट द
Yes.
एंड उन्होंने खुद ही अनाउंस कर दिया कि ही विल बी स्टेइंग एट टॉटनहम. सो आई होप दैट उनका सीजन अच्छा रहे इस बार टॉटनहम के साथ. एंड मैंने तो उन्हें, ऑल्दो वो मैन सिटी जाते तो मैंने प्रेडिक्ट किया था कि ही विल बी द टॉप स्कोरर, बट अब देखने जैसा होगा. Anyways, I
Yes.
think we should move further to our next team, Nikhil.
Yes, so our first team is Tottenham. Again, they are leading the team, and we will be reviewing their last that match day three results versus Watford. 1-0 they won. Son Heung-min scored, and that was a 1-0 win. I watched the highlights in May, and I think Watford also had some good chances.
हाँ, बट पोजेशन बैलेंस ही था, उतना टॉटनम के पास ज्यादा नहीं था, या फिर वॉटफोर्ड के पास इतना कम नहीं था. पासेस भी टॉटनम के काफी अच्छे रहे हैं, एंड ये 1-0 तो एक ट्रेंड सा ही हो गया है. जो पहले 3 दिन मैच में देखा हम लोगों ने टॉटनम एक क्लोज विक्ट्री लेते हुए.
हाँ.
ऑल्दो एनीवेज, वो तो अभी तो फिलहाल तो दे विल टेक एनी रिजल्ट दैट वुड कम देयर वे. सो या.
Yes, I think passes आप देखें तो 500 passes versus 364 passes. So passing शायद अच्छी रही है Watford के मुकाबले, but Tottenham is not something that we can compare with Watford, and definitely we would expect a win at home ground at for Tottenham. So 1-0 win, I think that might be a satisfactory. That might not be a satisfactory win, but yeah, a win is a win. They get 3 points in the end.
हाँ, नूनो एस्पिरिटो सेंटो तो अब तो फिलहाल तो ये टॉटनहम स्क्वाड के साथ जो भी रिजल्ट मिलेगा ले ही लेंगे, ही वोंट डिनाई इट. So yeah,
Yeah.
so let's
Okay.
move further to their match day 4.
Yes. So their
We've
match
already
day
seen the
4.
standings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would be welcomed by Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park Stadium, and Selhurst Park Stadium is one of the loudest crowds in the Premier League. They have been one of the loudest crowds. Of course, Liverpool के साथ लोग compare करेंगे, but the
Yes.
Eagles have been equally loud. And इस बार although they इनका अगर टॉटनम के साथ हेड टू हेड देखे तो they don't have a very good record. I mean, they have been on a not on a unwinning streak, not a losing streak, I would say. Although they managed to draw a couple of games with Tottenham, but uh, lost the previous game very convincingly last season. So I personally feel that Crystal Palace, they haven't been so great under Patrick Vieira, who just came in after replacing Roy Hodgson, who was, I would say, a very quote unquote successful manager with Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace जो 2017 में almost they were on the verge of relegation under Frank de Boer after 4 games. रॉय हॉटसन ने काफी अच्छा संभाला है. So I I expect a
Yes.
good game. What do you say, Nikhil?
I yes, I agree. I think Roy Hodgson काफी experienced manager भी है. He had handled big teams, and I think Crystal Palace जैसी टीम को फिर उन्होंने संभाला, तो I think that is one of the plus point that they had in the last season also. And then I think जब यहाँ पे हम देखें Crystal Palace, they are winless in their last 12 Premier League meetings. So I don't think is particular season may with the winning streak of three wins in 3 matches of Tottenham, they will have a very big challenge. Even though they have the crowd with them, they will surely will be having a big challenge with them. And Tottenham, I think they are going to win this match again
और
1-0. I
पैट्रिक
would say.
वियरा भी उतना उतना कुछ उनका कुछ ना कुछ खास नहीं रहा. फर्स्ट गेम जो चेल्सी के अगेंस्ट थी,
हाँ.
चेल्सी ने उनको पूरी पिच पे दौड़ाया था. क्रिस्टल पैलेस की टीम को, क्रिस्टल पैलेस की टीम पूरी ऑल ओवर द प्लेस लग रही थी.
I think they were
सो
trashed.
absolutely. So against Tottenham, I won't give them I won't give them high hopes, or I won't have high hopes for as a if I was a Tottenham fan. Sorry,
Mhm.
as a Crystal Palace fan. So I am predicting a easy 2-0 victory. Moving away from the trend for as far as Tottenham is concerned, I expect a 2-0 victory for Tottenham Hotspurs.
Sure. I think 2-0 victory for me. I would disagree. I think it would be a 1-0 victory, and I hope. Is it September already? Right? It's already September. I think August has ended and Kane might strike again. So Kane might open his account.
ये 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 हैरी केन के साथ प्रॉब्लम रहा है कि he struggles to score in August. I
Yes.
think his lucky month has started, and I think we would be seeing a free flow of goals. So are you saying that the 1-0 victory that you're predicting, a goal from Harry Kane?
Yes. I hope so,
Okay,
and that's I'm predicting.
मैं तो predict कर रहा हूँ कि I'll see both Harry Kane and Heung-min Son both on the score sheet. Anyway, so we both are predicting a victory for Tottenham. Nothing less than 3 points. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's move on. Moving on to the very what the word I can use here for Arsenal. I cannot use any other word than pathetic. A
They have
final
been
win for City.
absolutely pathetic. They have been shambles. They have been all over the place. Look at
Yes.
the possession, 19% possession against Manchester City. Although ये ऐसा कुछ shocking चीज नहीं है कि Manchester City having all the possession, but
Yes.
if you are an Arsenal team player, you would be thinking here we are already coming from a two losses in our previous 2 encounters. At least we should try. 19% possession for an Arsenal team. जो हम सोचते थे under Arsene Wenger, he used to be a possession no, style play manager, and seeing Arsenal like this, they
Yeah.
have been a shadow of themselves. They have not been what they were under Wenger. I
एंड
think
वेंगर
they
का
have been
वन टू
more.
पासिंग गेम जो बहुत फेमस था, आई थिंक हमने सबने देखा है वो, जो 1-2 पासिस करते थे और फिर गोल करते थे, देयर लिंक अप्स इन द लाइक सराउंडिंग द बॉक्स एंड देन दे यूज्ड टू स्कोर। दैट वाज अमेजिंग। वो कहीं ना कहीं मिसिंग है काफी ईयर से आर्सेनल में।
मुझे तो अभी तक ये मिकेल आर्टेटा ही जॉइंड इन 2019, लेट 2019, मुझे तो अभी तक उनका प्लेइंग स्टाइल समझा नहीं है कि he's a defensive player, he's a possession type player, he's a
काउंटर
high
अटैकिंग
pressure
प्लेयर और
kind of a,
समथिंग।
yeah, counter high pressure like Jurgen Klopp. उनका प्लेइंग स्टाइल अभी तक समझ में नहीं आया. आई थिंक ही 1.5 years in the job, in fact more than 1.5 years in the job, and he's still struggling with the style of play, or the identity has been missing with Arsenal, which we associated for them for very long.
यस
Anyways,
डेफिनेटली। एंड
this
आई थिंक जो लास्ट मैच में हुआ विद ग्रैनिट जगह गोइंग ऑन विद 2 legs टैकल, दैट that was pretty much high to be a red card. That was a correct red card. There is no debate in that. That was irresponsible of him, I think, because वो कैप्टन भी है एंड
and this guy,
इतना
yes,
रैशलेस
this
नहीं
guy is
जाना
supposed to be the captain.
चाहिए।
This guy
यस
is
डेफिनेटली।
supposed to be the captain. He is supposed to lead the team, and he's going all over. He himself has been all over the place. पियर एमरिक ओबामियांग जो पिछले सीजन से ही उनका स्ट्रगल कंटिन्यू हो रहा है.
ये
इस साल इस साल आर्सेनल वुड बी हैविंग हाई होप्स, ऑल्दो दे हैव लेट गो विलियन, जो उनका मतलब पिछले साल दे बॉट हिम इन. इस साल विलियन को उन्होंने लेट गो किया है, सो इट
ये
वुड बी इंटरेस्टिंग. I personally have very high hopes from Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith Rowe, both the players on the wing, and of course Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So he's a threat always, despite him going through a poor form. So I think I as an Arsenal fan, there are as if I was an Arsenal fan, there are they have a good squad. They can hope for something good, but I guess manager is the problem, I suppose. When at least that is what I feel.
definitely, they'll have to improve if they have to at least get into the top 4 of the Premier League till the end of the season. I think I don't think they are coming into that position till the end of the season now. We're seeing their form now, and ये
Yeah,
जो
they have been
form
struggling last.
बहुत
Yeah,
बहुत
they have been
ज़्यादा।
struggling. They have been mid-table team since very long. So
या
it would be. I was hoping for a Champions League, or in fact a European place. Some would say that would be very ambitious for Arsenal. I don't believe if they're saying that getting into the Europe would be ambitious for Arsenal. Anyways, I
it is
think we should be moving on to the match day 4 for Arsenal, and they are up against the Canaries. एंड आर्सेनल का रिकॉर्ड काफी अच्छा रहा है नॉर्विच के साथ. दे लॉस्ट नॉर्विच लास्ट इन 2012 जब आर्सन वेंगर मैनेजर थे. इट वाज अ
या
1-0 नैरो विक्ट्री फॉर देम. बट तब से लेके अब तक देखे, इट्स बिन ऑलमोस्ट अ डेकेड. आर्सेनल हैव बीन वेरी गुड अगेंस्ट नॉर्विच सिटी, दो दे come with a goal difference of -9. It would be interesting. It would be interesting to see what kind of squad turns up against Norwich. What do you say?
Yeah, I think इस बार they might open up with a win this time, at least a win. And Norwich के सामने definitely they might not be thinking about their previous record versus Norwich, but they might definitely be thinking about their last 3 matches, their last 3 loss, and they would, being Arsenal, that big team, they might want to win this match, very hard. So they will surely come up with some energy, and they might, they will win this match, I think, definitely.
हाँ, नॉर्विच भी कुछ अच्छे फॉर्म में नहीं है. They have lost all their 3 games so far, and they come in with only 1 goal scored and 11 conceded, I guess. So
Yeah,
they are with a GD of -10.
yeah,
So
एक
I
ही
don't
गोल
think
डिफरेंस
you know.
है दोनों के बीच में, राइट।
Yeah,
इस
so I
उनका
don't think
-9, उनका -10, राइट, या।
I think Arsenal would open their account with this game. I predict a 2-0 victory for Arsenal.
Definitely, I will have to agree with you. A 2-0 victory for Arsenal this time. Definitely, they will
And
open their account on match day 4.
पियर एमरिक ओबामेयांग का रिकॉर्ड अगर देखें नॉर्विच के सामने तो काफी अच्छा रहा है. सो आई थिंक ही इज गोइंग टू हैव he's going to have a day hands full, and I predicted a 2-0 victory, and I guess at least one of them would be from Aubameyang. So yeah.
for sure. Okay, so let's moving on to the next team. Next team is Arsenal. What next team is Man City. I'm sorry. सो मैन सिटी हमने लास्ट मैच डे के बारे में ऑलरेडी हमने बात कर ली है बट वी वर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट मैन सिटीज साइड ऑफ इट सो व्हाट डू वांट टू से अबाउट मैन सिटीज साइड ऑफ द लास्ट गेम दैट दे हैड फाइनल विक्ट्री दे वर मिसिंग अ प्रॉपर स्ट्राइकर बट स्टिल दे मैनेज टू स्कोर फाइनल अगेंस्ट आर्सेनल सो आई थिंक
Of
जिस
course, sir.
तरह का गेम है Guardiola का आई थिंक वो ही मैनेजेस समहाउ टू टू स्कोर गोल्स टू हैव द प्लेयर्स स्कोर गोल्स एंड भले ही उनके पास एक प्रॉपर स्ट्राइकर मिसिंग हो but still they manage to score the goal somehow. They have a good link up style. They have the possession style of game.
Correct, and the possession stats show it 81%. That is way above half the half half of the possession. So I think Arsenal. So I beg your pardon. Manchester City. They are having a good season. Although a match day one loss, uh, थोड़ा डेंट पड़ गया था. But I guess they have recovered well. They have scored 10 goals in last two games. So I have very high hopes for Manchester City, although they've signed Grealish, but Grealish को I think थोड़ा Man City के style of play में थोड़ा adapt होने में time लगेगा, because at Villa he was the key fellow
Yes, हाँ.
and he used to hold up the ball. यहाँ Guardiola का style वो hold up the ball है ही नहीं. You take the ball and pass the ball. That is what his philosophy is. So uh, although they have Grealish, but Grealish को थोड़ा एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा अपना प्लेइंग स्टाइल. एंड एज जैसे तुमने स्टार्टिंग में मेंशन किया दैट दे आर विदाउट अ स्ट्राइकर येट अगेन दिस सीजन. दे वर ऑल्दो पिछले साल उनके पास दे हैड अग्वेरो, बट ही वाज आउट विद कोविड एंड इंजरीज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम. सो इस बार भी आई गेस उनको फेरान टोरेज या फिर केविन डी ब्रुयना के बार
Definitely.
ऊपर ज्यादा रिलाई करना पड़ेगा गोल्स के लिए. पिछले साल गुंडोगान ने अच्छा खासा मतलब he scored a bag full of goals. 14 गोल्स उनका करियर का सबसे हाईएस्ट था. सो गार्डियोला की टीम्स मिडफील्ड से भी स्कोर कर सकती है, बट विदाउट एन आउट स्ट्राइकर मुझे नहीं पता कि वो कितना सस्टेन कर पाएंगे. और इस बार तो लुकिंग एट अदर टीम्स उनको तगड़ा कंपटीशन मिलने वाला है मैनचेस्टर सिटी के, मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड से भी, एंड ऑफ कोर्स यूरोपियन चैंपियन चेल्सी
Chelsea.
एंड लिवरपूल. लिवरपूल जो जिन्होंने काफी प्लेयर्स लौट आए हैं उनके पास आफ्टर रिकवरिंग फ्रॉम देयर इंजरी. सो इस बार
Definitely.
मैन सिटी के लिए थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होगा. उतना ही आसान रास्ता नहीं होगा चैंपियनशिप की तरफ.
एक अगर हम देखें एक स्टैट देखें तो जो अगुवेरो की हम बात कर रहे हैं अगुवेरो थे इनके पास लास्ट सीजन बट लास्ट सीजन उन्होंने इतने मैच खेले भी नहीं थे स्टिल मैनचेस्टर सिटी मैनेज टू विन द लीग राइट सो आई थिंक they were missing the striker in the last season as well but still they managed the league with these players. I think Grealish is an add-on is definitely a good add-on to the team and जो possession की बात करें I think Arsenal fans would say they were one man down but we'll come back to the Chelsea game and then we'll show them what happens there and the possession is definitely the credit goes to Man City all over this game.
यार तुमने वो जो मैनेज वर्ड यूज किया ना,
हम्म,
वो की वर्ड था कि
हाँ
लास्ट सीजन दे मैनेज्ड टू विन द लीग विदाउट अ प्रॉपर स्ट्राइकर. I don't
yes
think that ये long run में any team can sustain. Of course, अगर ऐसा होता तो
हम्म,
the Lewandowskis and the Ronaldos and the Messis of the world wouldn't exist, or they wouldn't have uh, went all out for Harry Kane. So Guardiola को पता था कि he would need a striker, he would need a proper number 9. Though they couldn't manage to sign one yet again, but well, as you said that
हाँ
इस बार they managed it last year. I don't think they would be able to manage it, because season in season out without a striker, I don't think they would be able to sustain. And we would have, it would be interesting to see कि Kevin De Bruyne कितना available रहते हैं. As we can see from their lineup in the previous game against Arsenal, he was not there in the starting lineup. So it would be interesting to see that, without a striker, how well would Man City do? Yeah,
Definitely, Kevin De Bruyne is a key fellow in the midfield for City, and he has been a key fellow from many seasons, many last few seasons in the City and City midfield, and definitely they will be missing
absolutely.
him.
More so after Guardiola has arrived. Yeah,
Yes, definitely, he suits that playing style, I think. So
yeah.
definitely, we can move on to their match day 4, and they are up against Leicester City. Leicester City, King Power Stadium, hosting Man City. They have a mixed kind of record in the last 5 games head to head, 2 wins, 3 wins and 2 losses. So it's definitely it's going to be a high intensity match at King Power Stadium. Both the teams they have kind of a high press style, and I think Vardy would be also begging he would be begging to score a goal this time. What do you think?
हाँ, और जो हमारी ऑफ ऑफ पॉडकास्ट में बात हुई थी कि
Hmm.
आई फील कि ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स हैज गॉट ग्वार्डियोला's नंबर बिकॉज ग्वार्डियोला को काफी अच्छा समझ लिया है ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स ने, जो हमने कम्युनिटी शील्ड में भी देखा था कि लेस्टर सिटी की टीम अच्छी कॉम्पैक्ट थी, फॉर्मेशन में एकदम रिजिड थी, मैन सिटी के अटैक को विथस्टैंड कर पा रही थी। और पिछले साल का ओपनिंग फर्स्ट एनकाउंटर देखे 5-2, ऑल्दो तब मैनचेस्टर सिटी स्ट्रगल कर रहे थे, दे उन्होंने आई डोंट थिंक
Hmm.
उनके पास रूबेन डियास तब थे, आई थिंक दे गॉट रूबेन डियास, or no, of course, it was in mid September, so yeah, they had Ruben Diaz, but Ruben Diaz, I think उस time team में adjust कर रहे थे, and after that after that victory, Man City handled themselves very well, but as the record shows कि Leicester City को easy नहीं ले सकते Manchester City. It would be a
Definitely.
tough game if अगर ग्वार्डियोला ने मैनचेस्टर सिटी को लाइटली ले लिया, मोर देन ग्वार्डियोला, आई थिंक ग्वार्डियोला तो किसी टीम को लाइटली लेते नहीं है, the owners would be more on the players if they better not take this Leicester City team very lightly, and of course जेमी वार्डी को तो मिक्स में डालना ही पड़ता है कि he would be there in on the score sheet if you go easy on him. So it would be a tough task for Manchester City going further, but again this time I would predict a narrow win for Manchester City, a 1-0 victory.
A 1-0 victory for Manchester City, a clean sheet away from the home. I think I would slightly disagree and agree a win for Man City, but I think it would be a 2-1 win for Man City. I think that the score would be definitely 1-2, one for Leicester City and two for Man City. Vardy might be scoring a goal here. एंड
Yeah,
जैसा तुमने
absolutely.
बोला हमारा ऑफ ऑफ पॉडकास्ट तो बात हुआ था ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स के बारे में। आई थिंक जो फॉर्मूला जो निकाला है ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स ने वो सबको बांट देना चाहिए। आई थिंक जो ग्वार्डियोला के अगेंस्ट जो इन्होंने फॉर्मूला वगैरह तोड़ निकाला है जीतने के लिए, आई थिंक वो सब में बांट देना चाहिए, सबको फायदा होना चाहिए।
हाँ, थोड़ी लीग इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाएगी, करेक्ट।
हाँ डेफिनेटली। आई थिंक वोल्स वगैरह ऐसे सब छोटी टीम्स को भी बांट देना चाहिए वो सब फॉर्मूला, ताकि वो भी काफ़ी कंपटीशन दे। एंड लीग डेफिनेटली प्रीमियर लीग सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग लीग होती है हर बार, एंड छोटी टीम्स भी
ऑल्दो
काफ़ी
ये
कंटेंडिंग देती है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा कंपटीशन देती है।
all the formula is very much the vanilla formula that कि आप you stay compact, defend with the bag, 2 bags of 4, and hit on a counter, and of course Leicester City have Jamie Vardy, quick players like Jamie Vardy and James Maddison जो काउंटर पे काफी अच्छा खेल सकता है, so I guess that is the formula.
इज दिस
So
जोसे
yeah,
मोरिनो
but
स्पीकिंग?
anyway.
आई थॉट
Brendan Rodgers was by the way under Jose
यस,
Mourinho.
यस आई नो।
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our next match day 3 fixture. It was Liverpool versus Chelsea, and if Arsenal fans were they were debating about the position, look at the position here. The I know 66% position of Liverpool is much more than 34% of Chelsea, but still Chelsea managed the 34% of position with one man down, and
and
they were
and they
brilliant
and they
defending.
opened the scoring. Yeah,
Yeah, and they opened the
they
scoring also. at
ऑल्दो
22
जो
22 minutes.
जो रीस जेम्स की पेनल्टी थी वो काफी डिबेटेबल थी, ऑल्दो Mo Salah converted the penalty, but it was
Hmm.
very much debatable, and we can have a good share of podcast if we go on debating that penalty that Reece James conceded. But
Definitely.
as said, the European champions Chelsea, they are in good form. Thomas Tuchel के आने के बाद they have been very balanced. Frank Lampard के अंडर last season जो team थी, it was not very sure. I to be very fair wasn't convinced with Chelsea. बट जो टॉमस टुकल ने आके टीम को संभाला है, जो उन्होंने डिफेंस को काफी कॉम्पैक्ट किया है,
Yes.
with the likes of Thiago Silva and Rudiger, I was not convinced, but you know, जैसे देखें कि चेल्सी हैव बीन वेरी कॉम्पैक्ट इन देयर डिफेंस. ऑफ कोर्स दे हैव बीन going good in the final half, but most of the games that Chelsea have backed in have been through their defense. उनके डिफेंस ने उनको
डिफेंस
जितने
अच्छा
पॉइंट
स्ट्रांग
दिलाए
रहा
हैं
है,
वो आई
राइट.
थिंक,
डेफिनेटली.
या ऑफेंस से ज्यादा उनका. ऑल्दो टीमो वेर्नर जो अब फॉर्म में आए हैं, ही वाज स्ट्रगलिंग इन द प्रीमियर लीग, बट इंटरनेशनल ड्यूटी पे देखे तो टीमो वर्नर ने भी अच्छे गोल स्कोर किए हैं. लुकाकू वो who has been in form since last season at Inter. So इस साल चेल्सी की टीम मुझे काफी स्ट्रांग लग रही है. आई थिंक वो अगर मैन सिटी का स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट कंटेंडर देखे फॉर द प्रीमियर लीग, आई वोंट से, ऑल्दो पीपल वुड आर्ग्यू कि क्रिस्टियानो रोनाल्डो और जेडन सांचो और वरान के आने से Manchester United would be on top, but I don't think, I personally feel that Chelsea are the contenders for the Premier League for Manchester City. It would be a close head to head, or a close race between the two. What do you say?
आई माइट डिसएग्री. आई थिंक जो जिन पीपल के बारे में तुम बात कर रहे थे, जो मैन यूनाइटेड के बारे में बोल रहे हैं विद द जेडन सैंचो, द लाइक्स ऑफ वरान एंड रोनाल्डो, मैन यूनाइटेड गोइंग ऑन टॉप, आई थिंक वो उन लोगों में मैं भी आता हूँ. तो आई वुड स्लाइटली डिसएग्री, बट या आई वोंट से दैट चेल्सी इज नॉट द टाइटल कंटेंडर. डेफिनेटली जो टॉप टाइटल
But
कंटेंडर्स में.
Chelsea is. Don't you think Chelsea is that the squad is complete in all the positions? I mean, Thiago Silva at his age, Spilicueta again at his age as well. They are
या
handling the
डेफिनेटली.
defense very well. Of course, उनका midfield देखो, N'Golo Conte and Jorginho, काफी सॉलिड डिफेंस रहा है उनका. और उनका जो फ्रंट लाइन है, मेसन माउंट, हावर्ट्स, लुकाकू, वेर्नर, Pulisic, ZH. I don't think Pulisic is Pulisic fit for this game. I'm not sure, but Chelsea is a complete team when compared to Manchester United. Of course, Manchester United did bring in Varane, and they already have Harry Maguire in defense, etc. But I don't think they are still missing that defensive midfielder, that DM, like Chelsea have the likes of Jorginho and Kante. I don't think United के पास अभी वो midfield है. So that is the reason I would put Chelsea in front of Manchester United.
ओके.
Anyways, let's move on to our match day 4 for Chelsea, and let's see whom they are facing. They're facing Aston Villa.
यस.
वेला का, ऑल्दो अगर रिकॉर्ड देखे चेल्सी के अगेंस्ट, तो काफी अच्छा रहा ये पिछले सीजन. उन्होंने इनफैक्ट एट द वेरी एंड ऑफ द सीजन they managed a 2-1 victory over Chelsea, and जो ड्रॉ रहा था उनका, although that was more of a Frank Lampard team which was facing Aston Villa. So ओवरऑल देखे तो वेला का रिकॉर्ड काफी अच्छा रहा है, एटलीस्ट इन रीसेंट पास्ट अगेंस्ट चेल्सी. सो बट ये हमें ध्यान में रखना है कि जैक ग्रिलिश इज नो
ग्रिलिश नहीं
लॉन्गर.
है. डेफिनेटली.
यस, करेक्ट. ग्रिलिश इज नो लॉन्गर
या.
with
एंड
Aston
आई
Villa.
थिंक जो हम लास्ट 5 मैचेस का हेड टू हेड अगर यहाँ देख रहे हैं, एंड विला का काउंट अगर रीसेंट पास्ट में अच्छा रहा है, बट आई थिंक उसके पहले भी अगर हम थोड़ा और पहले जाके देखें तो 3 लॉसेस भी है, एंड 3 लॉसेस फॉर एस्टन विला, एंड दे जस्ट मैनेज टू बैग 1 win, एंड Grealish was there. Grealish is now not there in the team for Aston Villa, and that would be a weak point for that might be a weak point for Aston Villa, and they are definitely meeting a much better, much strong team, Chelsea. This time they
Of
they,
course.
they are the champions, European champions, and they are in good form. Definitely उनका एक मैच ड्रॉ रहा है जो last match they were one man down, they still managed to draw that match. That is equivalent to a victory, I think. मेरे लिए तो वो victory के बराबर ही था. They, because that one
Absolutely.
goal was also just a penalty.
Yeah, they
And
should have won. I personally feel they should have won. They should have
yeah,
backed in all the 3 points.
definitely. And they if वो red card नहीं होता तो क्या पता वो they might have scored a second goal as well. They had some good chances even with the 10 men down, with the 10 men
Correct.
squad. So
As soon as they
definitely,
were 10 men down,
yeah,
Tuchel went all out defense. Yeah.
yes. So definitely, Chelsea काफी strong. They are going to come very strong against Aston Villa, and I will predict a 2-0 win for Chelsea, an easy win.
I would solely agree with you. It is going to be a 2-0 victory, and plus they're playing at home, so it is a home advantage. So I would go with a 2-0 win as well. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to our next team, that is Liverpool, and we already talked about the last game, but we didn't talk about the Liverpool side of it. So, what do you have to say about the Liverpool side of that match?
They have been in good form. 2 wins and a draw so far season और काफी players उनके recover होके भी आ चुके हैं. वैन डाइक the biggest one of them, जो उनका defense balance कर देगा. पिछले साल they were struggling a lot after the Van Dijk injury, after that Everton game. So and this season they don't have that baggage, and for them hopefully they would not have as many injuries as they had last season. So I have, personally as a Liverpool fan, I do have high hopes from them this season. So transfer window mein we didn't bring anyone apart from Kanate. No big signing was there, but
Yeah,
Thiago Alcantara and Diogo Jota काफी जो दो प्लेयर्स वो लोग काफी आउट रहे थे पिछले सीजन, इंजरीज ने उन्हें भी काफी इफेक्ट किया था. सो इस साल अगर वो अवेलेबल रहे, इस सीजन अगर वो अवेलेबल रहे तो दे वुड बी एज गुड एज न्यू साइनिंग. So far so good for Liverpool, but let's see, where do they end up. And this match day 4 is going to be a big test for them, because they are facing an opponent who is who is a mirror image of
mirror
themselves.
image of them.
And
Yeah, I was about to say that Leeds United, this Leeds United versus Liverpool, Leeds United versus Man City. These games are a much watch game, I think, according to me. And I always, from the season Leeds United got promoted, I didn't miss those games because they are high intensity game, highly charged players at high press. कोई भी किसी को टाइम नहीं दे रहे बॉल रखने का एंड डेफिनेटली
बट बीएसला
बहुत ही
को
हाई.
मुझे मेरे पर्सनली
हाँ
पर्सनली
हाँ.
मुझे लगता है कि बीएसला को थोड़ा ही नीड्स टू काम डाउन लिटिल बिट. थोड़ा उनको एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा. चैंपियनशिप में ही वाज गुड के ही वाज प्लेइंग इज फ्री फ्लोइंग फुटबॉल, बट आई थिंक एक सीजन रहने के बाद इन द प्रीमियर लीग आई थिंक he should be focusing more on the defense side of the game. If you would have seen the game against Manchester United, the first game I suppose it was,
Yes.
they were battered, absolutely battered by Manchester United. So, and again, Liverpool is going to be a similar team, although they are very much astute as far as attacking is concerned. So I don't expect anything different. Although पिछले साल का जो season opener था, I still remember it was a 4-3 game. It was more of
Yes.
a back and forth get the entire game. Liverpool scores one and Leeds would cover it up, and finally they ended up with a 4-3 score line. But I think Bielsa ko, he needs to manage things defensively well. What do you say?
आई थिंक जो रिकमेंडेशन है वो फ्रॉम अ टीम पर्सपेक्टिव, जो टीम को इम्प्रूवमेंट करना चाहिए उस पर्सपेक्टिव से है. बट एज अ क्राउड पर्सन, एज अ पर्सन हु इज कमिंग टू वॉच द गेम, आई थिंक जो खेल रहे हैं वो बढ़िया है, खेलना चाहिए. बहुत मजा आ रहा है देखने में हमको.
Of course, for
और
a neutral, it would be
यस,
a complete paisa vasool game.
पैसा वसूल गेम है. आई
It
थिंक
it
जो
uh,
4-3 गेम की
हाँ,
हम बात करें वो पूरा गेम मैंने देखा था एंड दैट वाज
yeah,
एब्सोल्यूट एंटरटेनमेंट.
none of the teams would be sitting back. None of the teams would be, giving up the possession easily. They would be pressing the opponents as
यस.
soon as they lose the ball. But अगर neutral point of view से देखें तो this is the best game that they can see on match day 4. Yeah.
Yep,
So I would predict a similar score line that was there last season, but I would say water down it a little bit. Thoda, I would say a 3-1 victory for Liverpool.
definitely. I'll have to agree with you. 3-1 victory for Liverpool again here, and they might. That would be a really entertaining match. I think it's a must-watch game.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's moving on to our next game, match day three results of Wolves versus Man United. This is about the Man United team, and they have brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. We'll come back to him with our match day four preview, but let's talk a little bit about the match day three, that is Wolves versus Man United. Man United won 1-0 with the goal of Greenwood, and
It was a very good game.
yeah,
Wolves had quite a few chances, and had they taken them, the result would have been a different one. Mason
definitely,
Greenwood scoring in the dying minutes of the game. I wouldn't say dying minutes, but it was at the very end. I mean, with the मुझे personally लगता है uh, with the attacking power that they have got in the front, I don't think they should be going more at teams. He, they should be going more all out
yep,
and playing against team rather than holding back. uh, Solskjaer, although he has a completely different philosophy, he has been through the philosophy of Sir Alex, who used to play uh, open, free flowing attacking
फ्री
football.
फ्लोइंग
But
अटैक गेम या
which in-
डेफिनेटली अटैक गेम एंड जो मैच ये जो मैच है काफ़ी बैलेंस लगा मुझे नहीं लगा कि मैन यूनाइटेड किसी भी पॉइंट पे दे आर डोमिनेटिंग और समथिंग एज अ बिग टीम एज अ स्क्वाड ऑफ फर्नांडेज एज द लाइक्स ऑफ पॉगबा and Greenwood in form. I don't think they were all over Wolves or something. It was kind of a balanced game to me. In the end, Greenwood he took a shot and managed. Again, that word managed to score that goal. I think that was a powerful shot, and that was kind of a deflection, and that went in. But I think that was a luck that went in. But he took a shot. Definitely, the credit goes to him. And yeah, they managed to win the game.
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on to the next fixture, that is the match day four for Man United versus Newcastle at home, Old Trafford, and the King Cristiano Ronaldo is back, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed that he'll be in the squad and he'll be playing that match. What do you
क्या
have
लगता
to
है तुम्हें
say?
स्टार्ट करेगा? विल ही
Start.
स्टार्ट?
He will definitely start. He is not someone who comes from the bench. He is someone who will start the game, definitely, and he's
आई एम
also
नॉट श्योर,
been
मुझे लगता नहीं है. मुझे आई थिंक ही केम इन फ्रॉम uh, he came in from international duty with Portugal, so I don't know if he'll start. I think मुझे लगता है कि Solskjaer will put him last 10 minutes or last 15 minutes just to please the crowd. And if you don't know that, all the trains to Manchester have been booked. I heard from a journalist, a very famous journalist, that all the trains going from London to Manchester have been booked for that time slot. So we can see that all they already logo में इतना excitement है to see him back on the pitch for Old Trafford.
definitely, the atmosphere would be a little very different atmosphere here, and with Ronaldo back, Varane will be starting off, I think, and again, people were thinking that Cavani would also make a debut against the crowd, in front of the crowd at Old Trafford, but he's not in the squad. Probably he might be there in the next game, but yeah, definitely Ronaldo. With Ronaldo starting the game, it would be a different kind of atmosphere at Old Trafford.
एंड अगर मैच का देखे, मूविंग ऑन टू द मैच, अगर न्यूकासल और मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड का अगर रिकॉर्ड देखे हेड टू हेड, अगर आप पिछला 3 गेम्स देखे, Solskjaer again, I think Solskjaer has been the manager of the last 3 games, and those were big victories. They were not narrow victories. Uh, United have scored a back full against Newcastle United. Again, Newcastle are a struggling squad themselves this season. They have
Definitely.
not been very good. So ये वाला भी game, I suppose it would be a high scoring game. एंड इफ अगर तुम्हारा प्रेडिक्शंस के हिसाब से जाए, इफ रोनाल्डो स्टार्ट्स, आई डेफिनेटली थिंक दैट ही वुड बी ऑन द स्कोर शीट. व्हाट डू यू
Definitely,
से?
and he would like to be on the score sheet. He is not someone who just passes on. He likes to be the someone who manages to score the game, to score in the game. So definitely, I think
रोनाल्डो का रोल क्या लगता है, क्या होगा?
he would be uh, he would be a striker. He would be a forward. I don't think he would be playing on the wing. Definitely, he would be a striker.
अब इंटरेस्टिंग ये हुआ कि फिर व्हाट अबाउट कवानी एंड ग्रीनवुड? आई डोंट थिंक ग्रीनवुड और रैशफोर्ड और मार्शियल और कवानी दे आर विंग प्लेयर्स, ऑल्दो ग्रीनवुड ने खेला है विंग्स पे, बट
Yes.
आई थिंक ही वुड बी हिमसेल्फ वुड बी होपिंग दैट he would be in the middle. So Solskjaer का formation उस हिसाब से, what do you think? What would it be, a fluid formation or a compact? Maybe four. He would be playing with two strikers up front. What do you think?
So जितना मैंने देखा है उतना I think it has been free flowing and it has been a fluid formation. Even if you see Pogba wanted to be in a fluid formation in under Mourinho, but I think जैसे ही Solskjaer आया, he made sure that he has that ability to be fluid in the position. He is not fixed into that central defensive midfield or something. He comes to the wings. He comes in the center. He has been fluid over there. Also coming to Greenwood, I think वो भी right wing, left wing. They have been switching the wing. He is on the center as well. So काफी fluid formation रहा है पिछले season भी and even in this season. So I think they will be able to adapt. Definitely Martial के लिए एक क्वेश्चन होगा कि वो किधर जाएगा. So maybe he was also linked
They
to
should have
some other
sold him
team.
this summer. They should have.
Yeah,
They should
I think
have
he was linked
got
with
something from him.
Monaco and probably वो deal नहीं हो पाया. So yeah, they should have sold him and he's not been in a good form lately. Probably they should have sold him.
And speaking of the midfield, as again we spoke in the game in the one of our previous previews, that United, when we were debating about whether United are a contender or not, but United, as I said, उनके पास एक होल्डिंग मिडफील्डर की कमी है. आई डोंट थिंक पॉगबा या फिर ब्रूनो फर्नांडिस उनमें से कोई भी एक होल्डिंग मिडफील्डर है. फर्नांडिस तो सर्टनली नहीं है, बट
Yeah,
I don't think Fred is the answer, and Matic is, I guess, what he's what retirement age of Matic. He's I think he should be hanging up his boots, but I don't think Fred is the answer. अगर आप head to head देखें, let's compare the holding midfielders of these top teams. City have Rodri, they have I think they still have Fernandinho.
yes. Man
Chelsea have
United
Conte,
also
Jorginho.
has one of the like one upcoming. I think he's young. Scott McTominay. He's a club bond
Hey, he has
and
been around since 2018, since
yep.
Mourinho was there, but यार उनका impact उतना था क्या, उतना लग रहा है क्या
तब नहीं
तुमको
था,
उतना
उस टाइम पे
impact?
नहीं था, बट अभी काफ़ी इम्पैक्ट है उसका. अगर आप मैच देखा होगा तो यू विल सी दैट ही इज इम्पैक्टफुल. ही ऑल्सो गोज फॉरवर्ड एंड स्कोर्स द गोल. तो ही हैज़ दैट एबिलिटी. अगर मैन सिटी के सामने जो लास्ट सीजन
गोल स्कोरिंग की तो कमी नहीं है ना यार, गोल स्कोरिंग की तो
जब
आई थिंक
बट
देयर
होल्डिंग के
शुड
लिए
बी
भी अच्छा है
समवन
वो.
टू
होल्डिंग के लिए
protect
क्या.
Maguire and Varane. Of course, Varane is a quick player, which Maguire
बट
का I think
मैगवायर
lag ही वही है कि Maguire is, I guess, he's as slow as a tortoise. So there should be someone. If although United ने Varane को hire करके they have covered up quite a bit, but still, I think that there should be someone a layer above the back four or back three, whatever you'd like to play. Layer होना चाहिए above a holding midfielder who would control the game. More like a Sergio Busquets was there for Barcelona, or let's say Casemiro is there for Real Madrid, or a very good example, Kante for Chelsea. So I think वहाँ पे lag कर रहे हैं, but
Yep, I
uh,
hope
let's see
Scott
how.
McTominay somehow he goes up and he also proves himself as a holding midfielder. Definitely, Matic is someone who can be there in this season. Nobody is sure about the next season of him. So definitely, he is not going to get that much of minutes on the ground.
Okay, so moving on to our predictions, I predict a 3-0 victory for Manchester United. If Ronaldo starts, he would be on the score sheet. If he's brought on as a sub, I don't think he would be. But regardless, I'd predict a 3-0 victory for Manchester United.
And I agree with you. I agree with you that 3-0 victory is, I think, a good win. That would be a good win for Man United, and that would be a good start to the season.
Absolutely. And speaking of a good start, I guess that was the final game that we have previewed for match day 4. And I hope we had a good start as well.
Yeah,
And it was a wonderful first episode. What do you say, Nikhil?
yeah, I agree. And guys, whoever is listening, please, uh, please review our episode of our podcast, the first ever podcast, the Chill Podcast, and please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to press the notification button.